Did you know that in Japan, it's not unusual to see men and women in their late 80s, even their 90s, walking upright, shopping independently, climbing stairs with confidence, and moving with the flexibility of someone half their age? Imagine being 85 and still strong enough to garden, carry groceries, or even practice a little dance with your grandchildren. The shocking truth is, these Japanese elders are not relying on gyms, supplements, or miracle medicines. They are relying on something much simpler, just 6 daily movements that they perform almost religiously, movements that take no more than a few minutes but deliver lifelong results. And here's the even more surprising fact. Scientific studies confirm that these exact kinds of daily functional movements are strongly linked with lower risk of falls, better bone density, improved circulation, and even reduced risk of dementia. Welcome back to a new video on Senior Secrets TV, the place where we uncover the science-backed strategies to help you live stronger, longer, and healthier after 50. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, because what we share are not trends or fads. These are real, doctor-backed insights that can truly change the course of your health. And if you're already part of our growing family of lifelong learners, welcome back. Let's dive deep into today's secret from Japan. Now let's break down these 6 daily movements Japanese elders practice and why they matter for your body after 50. The first movement is the gentle squat. At first glance, it may look too simple, but in Japan, elders often squat down to sit on low chairs, or even when gardening. These shallow squats strengthen the quadriceps, hamstrings, and gluteal muscles, all critical for stability and balance. Why is this so important after 50? Because loss of muscle mass, called sarcopenia, accelerates with age. Starting in your 40s, most adults lose about 1% of their muscle each year unless they actively maintain it. By your 70s, this can mean a 20 to 30% reduction in muscle strength, which directly increases fall risk. Japanese elders unknowingly combat this simply by practicing slow, bodyweight squats daily. Even 5 to 10 squats a day has been shown in clinical trials to improve lower body strength, circulation to the legs, and even bone density. Doctors now recommend squats not as a gym exercise, but as a daily survival movement, something that keeps you mobile, independent, and confident. The second movement is the arm stretch overhead. In Japanese parks, if you visit early in the morning, you'll see groups of seniors standing together, lifting their arms overhead, reaching toward the sky, and holding the stretch while breathing deeply. This movement has multiple benefits. First, it improves shoulder mobility, which naturally declines with age and leads to stiffness, frozen shoulder, and even impaired lung expansion. Second, the posture correction helps counteract the hunched back problem caused by years of sitting or leaning forward. And third, it opens the rib cage, improving oxygen intake. In fact, a study on respiratory health in older adults showed that seniors who practiced overhead stretches and breathing exercises had 20 greater lung capacity than those who didn't. This means less shortness of breath while climbing stairs, walking long distances, or even sleeping peacefully. The third movement is the ankle rotation. This is probably the simplest exercise on the list, but it's also one of the most underrated. As a doctor, I can tell you that ankle stiffness and weakness are major risk factors for falls in seniors. Every year, millions of older adults are hospitalized because of fall-related injuries, and the majority of those falls begin with poor ankle stability. In Japan, elders practice slow ankle rotations while seated, often in both directions, for a few minutes every day. This keeps the small stabilizing muscles around the ankle joint strong, improves circulation to the feet, and prevents the stiff, heavy feeling that often plagues older adults. Interestingly, a Japanese study found that seniors who performed ankle mobility exercises daily had a 40% lower risk of falling compared to those who did not. That's a dramatic difference, and all it takes is a few ankle circles while you're sitting on the edge of your bed. The fourth movement that Japanese elders perform daily is the torso twist. At first, this may look like nothing more than a casual side-to-side movement, but in reality, it is a deeply therapeutic exercise for the spine, digestive system, and core muscles. Imagine sitting or standing tall, then gently rotating your upper body left and right, keeping your hips stable. This twisting action lubricates the spinal joints, maintains flexibility in the vertebral column, and engages the oblique muscles of the abdomen. Why is this crucial? Because spinal stiffness is one of the earliest contributors to chronic back pain, poor posture, and even digestive sluggishness. Research from rehabilitation medicine shows that rotational spinal movements improve blood flow to the intervertebral discs, helping to keep them nourished and flexible. In Japan, many elders incorporate these twists into their morning routines, often as part of Ragyo Taiso, the famous Japanese radio calisthenics program that has been practiced nationwide for nearly a century. These gentle twists also stimulate abdominal organs, aiding digestion and reducing bloated tissue, something many seniors quietly struggle with but rarely discuss. By performing these torso rotations daily, Japanese elders keep their backs limber, their posture upright, and their bellies more comfortable. The fifth daily movement is perhaps the most fascinating: balance standing on one leg. If you travel through Japan, you may see older men and women standing while waiting for a bus or cooking at home, casually lifting one leg and balancing for a few seconds at a time. This might look like a simple trick, but it is actually a scientifically validated longevity test. Researchers in Japan and the UK have found that seniors who can balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds without support are significantly less likely to suffer from falls, strokes, and even cognitive decline. Balance is not just about the legs. It is a neurological skill that integrates the brain, eyes, inner ear, and muscle coordination. With age, this system weakens unless it is deliberately trained. By practicing balance standing daily, even for 20–30 seconds on each side, Japanese elders are effectively protecting their brains, strengthening their coordination, and dramatically lowering fall risk. In clinical geriatrics, we often say, if you want to predict independence in old age, test balance. Japanese elders have already mastered this, and they do it without even thinking of it as exercise. Finally, the sixth movement is a beautiful combination of body and breath. Deep breathing with arm swings. Picture an elderly group standing in a park early in the morning, gently swinging their arms forward and backward while inhaling and exhaling slowly. This is more than just light activity. It's a holistic reset for the body. Swinging the arms stimulates blood flow, especially to the shoulders and chest, while the deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming stress and balancing blood pressure. Japanese culture places a strong emphasis on mindfulness, and this simple practice mirrors that philosophy. Studies in respiratory medicine show that synchronized movement with deep breathing improves lung elasticity, reduces stress hormones like cortisol, and enhances energy levels throughout the day. Seniors who practice this regularly report better sleep, less fatigue, and improved mood. In fact, deep breathing with arm swings is one of the most prescribed non-pharmacological techniques for older adults in Japan suffering from anxiety or mild depression. It's a gentle movement, but one with profound benefits for both mind and body. Now, you might be wondering, why these 6 movements? Why not weight training, jogging, or yoga? The answer lies in simplicity, culture, and consistency. In Japan, health is not treated as a chore or a workout. Instead, it is seamlessly woven into daily life. Squatting happens naturally when tending to the garden. Stretching arms overhead is built into group morning exercises. Ankle rotations are performed while sitting in tatami rooms or waiting for tea to brew. Torso twists and arm swings are part of the social fabric of Ragyo Taiso, And balance practice occurs every time someone removes their shoes at the door or waits in line. These 6 movements are not a program, they are a lifestyle. And that lifestyle produces some of the healthiest elders in the world. Medical science supports this approach wholeheartedly. Research on blue zones, the regions of the world where people live the longest, consistently shows that movement integrated into daily routines is far more sustainable than structured gym sessions. Japanese elders are not training for marathons. Nights. They are simply training for life. And as a result, their muscles stay strong, their joints remain flexible, and their hearts keep pumping efficiently. Doctors now believe that this is one of the main reasons why Japan has the highest life expectancy in the world. When we compare Japanese elders with seniors in many Western countries, the difference is striking. In the United States and parts of Europe, it is not uncommon to see people in their 60s or 70s already struggling with chronic knee pain, difficulty climbing stairs, or reliance on canes and walkers. Yet in Japan, many elders in their 80s and even 90s still live independently, walk daily to the market, and actively participate in community life. What explains this gap? While genetics play a role, doctors and researchers increasingly agree that daily functional movement habits are the real secret. For example, a clinical study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity examined older adults in Japan who practiced traditional morning exercises like squats, arm stretches, and torso twists. These individuals showed significantly higher scores in mobility, grip strength, and balance compared to peers who did not. Even more fascinating, MRI scans of their brains revealed greater preservation of white matter, the critical tissue that maintains brain communication. In other words, these simple movements may also protect cognitive health, reducing the risk of dementia. Let's pause and reflect on that. 6 tiny movements: squatting, stretching, twisting, rotating, balancing, and breathing can help not just your muscles and joints, but your memory, focus, and mood. Isn't that extraordinary? And yet, it makes perfect sense. The body and brain are not separate systems. Movement stimulates blood flow, oxygen delivery, and nerve activity. When seniors move every day, they are essentially giving their brains a daily bath of oxygen and nutrients, keeping neurons alive and active. This is why Japanese elders, who integrate movement naturally, often display sharper minds, even in advanced age. Another important factor is joint health. As we age, cartilage, the smooth cushion in our joints, begins to thin. Sedentary lifestyles accelerate this degeneration, leading to arthritis and stiffness. But Japanese elders, by regularly moving their ankles, knees, and spines, stimulate the production of synovial fluid, the body's natural joint lubricant. This keeps cartilage nourished and slows down arthritis progression. It's like oiling a machine. The more gently you use it, the longer it lasts. That's exactly how Japanese seniors keep their joints functional, while many Western seniors end up with joint replacements. Culturally, movement is also tied to respect for the body. In Japan, there is a deep-rooted philosophy called ikigai, meaning a reason for living. Elders believe in maintaining daily routines that give them purpose, whether it's tending the garden, preparing tea, or playing with grandchildren. The 6 movements are not just physical, they are a ritual, a way of honoring life. And science shows that this mental attitude is equally important. Seniors who believe in staying active are far more likely to follow through consistently, compared to those who view exercise as punishment. Let's take the example of balance standing again. In Western medicine, we test balance by asking seniors to stand on one leg with eyes open. If they cannot last even 5 seconds, their risk of falling is considered high. In Japan, elders often practice this naturally, even when washing dishes or brushing teeth. By turning balance into a micro-habit, they build neurological resilience daily. Imagine the difference this makes over decades. Every second spent balancing trains the cerebellum, the brain's balance center, and builds reflexes that could prevent a fall. Considering that falls are the #1 cause of injury-related deaths in seniors worldwide, this is not a small benefit. It's life-saving. Now, let's return to the deep breathing with the arm swings. Western seniors often underestimate the role of breathing in health. Yet poor breathing mechanics, shallow chest breathing instead of deep diaphragmatic breathing, contribute to anxiety, fatigue, and even high blood pressure. Japanese elders practice synchronizing breath with movement, which lowers cortisol, the stress hormone, and improves heart rate variability, a key marker of heart health. This is why you'll often see Japanese elders not just healthier, but calmer, more centered, and less prone to the chronic stress that plagues so many in modern society. There is also a hidden but crucial benefit: circulation. Seniors who stay still for too long often experience swollen ankles, cold hands, and even blood clots. But the ankle rotations, squats, and arm swings performed by Japanese elders act as a natural pump for the circulatory system. Every contraction of the calf and thigh muscles pushes blood back toward the heart, reducing swelling and improving cardiovascular health. Medical research shows that such small daily activities can reduce the risk of deep vein thrombosis, a dangerous clotting condition. So these 6 movements are not just about fitness, they are about survival. And here's the beautiful part. These movements require no equipment, no gym membership, and no complicated instructions. They are accessible to everyone, regardless of income or background. A 55-year-old retiree in the US can start today in their living room. A 70-year-old grandmother in Europe can practice while waiting for her tea. A 65-year-old in Canada can begin with just 2 minutes in the morning. The simplicity makes it universal, and the science makes it powerful. Now, the big question: how can seniors outside of Japan begin to practice these movements safely, effectively, and consistently? The answer is simpler than you think, but it requires a doctor's mindset. Start small, stay consistent, and focus on function rather than perfection. Let's imagine you are 50, 60, or even 75 years old, and you're listening to this. You may be thinking, squats? Balance? Arm swings? That sounds too hard for me. But here is the truth. These movements can be modified to suit every body, every age, and every ability level. Doctors call this principle scaling. In Japan, elders do not compare themselves to younger athletes. They simply adjust the intensity to what feels safe and sustainable. You can do the same. Take the gentle squat. If you struggle with knee pain, don't go deep. Place a chair behind you and simply practice sitting down slowly and standing back up. This is still a squat, but it's supported, safe, and trains the same muscles. Over time, your quadriceps and glutes will strengthen, and you may even notice less pain when climbing stairs. Clinical rehabilitation programs use this exact modification to help older adults recover from knee surgery. That's how powerful it is. Now let's consider the overhead arm stretch. If your shoulders are stiff or painful, you don't need to reach all the way up. Simply raise your arms to where it feels comfortable, hold for a few breaths, and then slowly lower. Over weeks and months, your range of motion will naturally increase. In fact, physical therapists often prescribe this to seniors with frozen shoulder, and progress is often dramatic with daily practice. Remember, it is not about how far you reach today. It is about how much freer you will feel tomorrow. For the ankle rotations, start seated. Lift one foot slightly off the ground. Draw slow circles with your toes. And switch directions. Do 10 circles each way, then switch legs. This can be done while watching TV, waiting for the kettle to boil, or even during phone calls. If you have diabetes or circulation issues, this movement is especially important because it helps blood reach your feet and prevents complications. Many seniors who adopt this daily habit notice less swelling and a warmer feeling in their toes within just a few weeks. Moving on to the torso twist. If you have back pain, start gently. Sit tall in a chair, cross your arms over your chest, and rotate slowly left, then right. Never force it. Just move within your comfortable range. This not only helps the spine, but also stimulates digestion, especially if done after meals. Doctors in Japan sometimes recommend these twists for seniors who suffer from constipation because the motion activates abdominal muscles and improves bowel motility. Now let's revisit the balance standing. If balancing on one leg feels unsafe, stand near a wall or hold the back of a chair lightly with one hand. Even with support, your muscles and brain are practicing balance. Try to hold for 5 to 10 seconds on each side and gradually reduce reliance on your hand as you improve. If you practice this daily, you may surprise yourself. What once felt impossible becomes effortless. Research shows that balance can improve dramatically at any age, even in the 70s and 80s, if trained consistently. Finally, the deep breathing with arm swings. Stand comfortably, feet shoulder-width apart, and gently swing your arms forward and back while inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. If standing is difficult, you can even do this seated with smaller swings. The key is synchronizing breath and movement. Try this for 2 minutes and notice the immediate calm it brings. Seniors who practice this daily often report reduced anxiety, better sleep, and steadier energy throughout the day. Now, here is something crucial. Consistency matters more than intensity. Doing these movements daily, even for 5 to 10 minutes, is infinitely more beneficial than doing one long workout once a week. Think of it as brushing your teeth. You don't skip brushing for 6 days and then scrub extra hard on Sunday, right? The same logic applies to movement. Japanese elders succeed because they do a little bit every single day, without fail. Another powerful concept is habit stacking. Link these movements to something you already do. For example, do your squats before breakfast, your ankle rotations while watching TV, your arm stretches while waiting for tea, and your balance standing while brushing your teeth. This way, exercise doesn't feel like a chore. It becomes part of your daily rhythm, just like it is for elders in Japan. Remember, aging does not mean weakness. Aging means adaptation. Your body is waiting for you to give it the stimulus it needs to stay alive, strong and mobile. The 6 Japanese movements are not extreme, they are not exhausting, and they don't require equipment. They are simply nature's way of keeping the body awake and alive. Doctors around the world now agree the key to successful aging is not found in pills or surgeries, but in small, consistent movements that preserve independence. And that's exactly what Japan has taught us. Now, let's imagine the other side of the coin. What happens if these movements are ignored? When seniors stop moving regularly, muscles weaken, balance deteriorates, and joints stiffen. This doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly. First, it's a little trouble standing from a chair, then it's climbing stairs that feels exhausting. Eventually, it's a stumble on uneven ground that turns into a fall. Statistics from the World Health Organization show that falls are the leading cause of injury and loss of independence in adults over 65. And yet, most of these falls are preventable, not with expensive treatments, but with simple daily movement training. That's why what Japanese elders do is so extraordinary. They don't wait for weakness to arrive. They train their bodies every day to resist decline. Take Mrs. Ito, an 82-year-old from Okinawa, often cited in longevity studies. She still tends her vegetable garden, cooks for her family, and participates in local dance festivals. Her daily ritual? 5 minutes of squats, a few torso twists, balancing on one leg while brushing her teeth, and ending the morning with deep breathing and arm swings. She doesn't call it exercise. She calls it living. Contrast this with many seniors in other countries who stop moving out of fear of pain. And unfortunately, inactivity only accelerates the very problems they are trying to avoid. The science is clear. Daily, consistent, functional movement reduces the risk of osteoporosis, improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, enhances memory, reduces depression, and even strengthens the immune system. It is like medicine, but without side effects. Doctors who study gerontology now recommend daily movement snacks throughout the day, exactly like the Japanese elders have been doing for generations. And here's the best part. You can begin today, no matter your age, no matter your fitness level, no matter your current health challenges. There is always a way to start. Maybe today you do just 2 squats. Tomorrow, you add 3 ankle rotations. Next week, you practice balance standing for 10 seconds. Each step builds strength, stability, and confidence. Over weeks and months, you will notice changes. Less stiffness in the morning, more energy during the day, a stronger, steadier feeling when walking. This is how transformation begins, not with drastic measures, but with small, consistent actions. So my advice as a doctor is simple. Don't underestimate the power of these 6 Japanese movements. They look easy, but they are medicine for your muscles, your joints, your balance, your brain, and your heart. If you are over 50, these are not optional. They are essential. Thank you for watching this video on Senior Secrets TV. If you found this valuable, please subscribe so you never miss out on more science-backed health secrets designed just for seniors like you. Share this with a friend or loved one over 50 who could benefit, because sometimes the smallest changes bring the biggest results. Stay strong, stay active, and I'll see you in the next one.